Пошел.
Jake Paul faced severe criticism from boxing experts following a humiliating knockout during a sparring session that went viral. The problem child's reputation in the fight world has been contentious due to his brash demeanor and controversial approach. Despite his attempts to integrate himself among professional boxers, the leaked footage of his latest sparring failure underscored doubts about his credibility, suggesting he still has much to prove. Among the outspoken critics was Joe Rogan, a prominent UFC commentator known for his unfiltered opinions. Rogan, who has been a vocal skeptic of Paul's boxing abilities, wasted no time in sharing his perspective on the debacle. He has previously accused Paul of deceiving fans by presenting himself as a legitimate boxer when, according to Rogan, he falls short of professional standards. The fallout from Paul's latest setback has resonated widely in the fight community and beyond. For enthusiasts of combat sports or those intrigued by celebrity clashes, the reactions of seasoned boxing professionals provide a compelling narrative. As discussions unfold, Paul finds himself once again in the spotlight, facing scrutiny that may challenge his aspirations in the ring.
Kind of insulting. It's brave, it's bold of him, but it's like, Jesus Christ, there's levels to this world.
Jake Paul has been a polarizing figure in the fight world since his debut as a professional boxer. His notoriety often precedes his skills in the ring, largely due to his outspoken personality and penchant for taking shots at some of the biggest names in the sport. Growing up in the spotlight of YouTube, Jake has always shared his journey transparently with his fans, documenting every aspect of his career transition from internet celebrity to boxer. Since entering the boxing scene, Jake Paul has been transparent about his training and progress, keeping fans updated through various platforms. However, a recent sparring video has sent shockwaves through the fight world. Critics have pointed out his visible struggles, likening his movements to someone fatigued from an intense workout. While every fighter faces tough days in training, the scrutiny on Jake is heightened as he prepares for two of the most challenging fights of his career. First up is a bout with Mike Perry scheduled for July 20th, followed by a highly anticipated showdown with boxing legend Mike Tyson on November 15th at the AT&T Arena. Unlike his previous opponents, both Perry and Tyson bring seasoned boxing backgrounds to the ring, presenting a formidable challenge that Jake cannot afford to underestimate. The stakes are high, and Jake needs to prove himself against these experienced fighters. Criticism has been particularly sharp following Jake's recent sparring mishap, with Joe Rogan among the first to weigh in. Known for his candid commentary on boxing and MMA, Rogan's opinion carries weight in the fight community. His remarks underscore the seriousness with which professionals view Jake's journey in boxing. Despite setbacks, it's undeniable that Jake has delivered memorable knockouts in his career, notably against Ben Askren and Tyron Woodley, fights that garnered significant attention and debate. In navigating his upcoming challenges, Jake Paul faces a crucial juncture in his boxing career. The transition from YouTube sensation to legitimate boxer requires not just bravado, but a dedication to honing his skills and proving himself against seasoned competitors. As the spotlight intensifies and critics analyze his every move, Jake must demonstrate resilience and growth to cement his place in the competitive world of professional boxing.
Crack.
Yeah.
100%. That knockout of Tyron Woodley is legit as f***. He can crack.
Jake Paul finds himself in a precarious position after choosing to challenge two formidable opponents consecutively, a decision that appears premature based on recent footage from his sparring sessions. Critics, including Joe Rogan, have been vocal about Jake's readiness, or lack thereof, for these upcoming bouts. While acknowledging Jake's effort and past challenges, Rogan's recent critique has resonated widely, highlighting concerns over Jake's approach to training and competition. The fallout from the leaked sparring video has sparked widespread discussion among fans and pundits alike. Many are questioning how long Jake can maintain his facade as a legitimate boxer without substantiating it with concrete performances in the ring. The skepticism has intensified given Jake's apparent lack of seriousness towards his upcoming fight with boxing icon Mike Tyson. Critics argue that Jake's cavalier attitude suggests he views the match as an easy conquest rather than a serious challenge against one of boxing's most respected figures. Adding to the chorus of disapproval are other boxing experts, echoing Rogan's sentiments. UFC President Dana White has been particularly vocal in his opposition to the proposed Jake Paul versus Mike Tyson matchup. White has consistently argued that Tyson, at 58 years old, should not be enticed back into competitive boxing and deserves respect for his age and legacy. The backlash against Jake Paul extends beyond mere criticism of his boxing skills. It questions his respect for the sport and its legends. Many in the fight community see his actions as a cynical ploy to generate attention, rather than a genuine effort to compete at the highest level. As the controversy unfolds, Jake faces mounting pressure to prove himself worthy of his place in the ring, particularly against opponents of such caliber. His next moves will be closely watched as he navigates the consequences of his choices in the unforgiving arena of professional boxing.
Jake fought a guy who was his age and who was also considered a boxer, and he lost. So if you can keep fighting fucking 50-something-year-olds...
You don't think Tyson has a chance?
And making a living at it. I think that Mike Tyson has a puncher's chance against anybody.
Floyd Mayweather, known for his own disputes with Jake Paul, has weighed in on the current state of affairs in boxing. Emphasizing the hierarchy within the sport, Mayweather reiterated that Jake Paul has yet to reach the pinnacle of boxing excellence. Despite Mayweather's usual avoidance of drama, he couldn't resist commenting on the controversial matchup between Mike Tyson and Jake Paul. This bout has sparked widespread debate due to its perceived mismatch and excessive hype, overshadowing Jake's impending fight against Mike Perry in a few weeks. Mike Perry, aged 32 and in his prime, poses a significant challenge for Jake Paul. Unlike Jake's recent opponents, Perry's age and athletic prowess bring a formidable skill set to the ring. This matchup is far from a foregone conclusion, with Perry's experience and capabilities potentially complicating Jake's path. As discussions unfold, Mayweather's insights underscore the complexities of boxing politics and matchups. While Jake Paul remains a polarizing figure, the focus remains on his upcoming bouts and the scrutiny surrounding his readiness to face opponents of varying backgrounds and abilities. The dynamics of these fights will undoubtedly shape perceptions of Jake Paul's legitimacy within the boxing community, highlighting both his potential and the challenges ahead in his quest for credibility as a professional boxer.
Short elbow there. Boom. He is explosive. He's learning. He's getting better.
Mike Perry, a former UFC standout with an impressive track record, has found his stride in bare-knuckle fighting, boasting an undefeated 5-0 record, despite a single boxing match against Kenneth McNeil resulting in a loss. Perry's dominance in bare knuckle speaks volumes. Known as Platinum, Perry is revered as the league's top attraction, capable of causing upsets despite limited experience in traditional boxing. His upcoming bout against Jake Paul poses a significant challenge, with Perry's resilience and bare knuckle pedigree likely to test Paul's mettle in the ring.
I'm gonna fucking knock the teeth out of his mouth. Jake, I'll beat your ass, bitch. July 20th. Come and see it. Emily Arena, Tampa, Florida. Days in pay-per-view.
Initially, Mike Perry sought to challenge Jake Paul to a bare-knuckle fight, but Paul opted for a traditional boxing match instead. Despite this, Perry remains confident in his ability to knock out Paul. Jake Paul sees Perry as an easy opponent, viewing a victory over him as crucial for solidifying his reputation as a legitimate boxer before facing Tyson in what is billed as the biggest fight of his career. Former MMA star Michael Bisping, however, holds a contrasting opinion. Bisping believes Jake Paul is committing a significant error by underestimating Perry's boxing prowess. Bisping's perspective adds to the growing skepticism surrounding Jake Paul's readiness and strategy ahead of his upcoming bouts.
Perry is a fighter. Mike Perry wasn't necessarily the best jiu-jitsu artist or had the best wrestling, but there's not a fight that Mike Perry won't take. I've spoken to Mike Perry on several occasions, and he is the epitome of a real fighter. And he's an absolute star in the bare knuckle organization. So Jake Paul, I think he's made a tremendous mistake here because he's a real fighter. He's going to get in shape. He's not afraid to mix it up. And he's going to go right at Jake Paul.
Xiao Ali predicts the upcoming fight will be challenging.
Mike Perry versus Jake Paul. I think it's more of a competitive match. I think Tyson was just a little bit too, aged, weathered. But I think Mike Perry versus Jake Paul is a very, very interesting, very competitive fight. I think it would be the most competitive fight Jake's had outside of the Tommy Fury fight. I would be very interested to seeing it, and I'm excited to see it. I think it's actually happening July 20th, and I don't know where, but I want to go.
But who does he have as his winner?
I think, God dang it, that's actually a tough fight to predict. Because Mike's in it, but he's in bare knuckle. It is a different sport, different size space to fight it, different range. It's very similar but very different. Jake's been boxing. Mike's been bare knuckle boxing.
The upcoming fight between Jake Paul and Mike Perry has become a pivotal moment that could define Paul's boxing career. By choosing to face Perry before Mike Tyson, Paul is taking a significant risk. Many question why he didn't wait until November for the high-profile Tyson bout. Paul sees Perry as a warm-up fight, albeit a lucrative one, believing it will enhance his reputation and earnings. However, the stakes are high. Losing to Perry could jeopardize his shot at Tyson, the biggest fight of his career. Mike Perry, on the other hand, sees this fight as an opportunity to derail Paul's plans. In an interview with Michael Bisping, Perry openly expressed his intent to knock out Jake Paul to sabotage his chances against Tyson. Perry's motivations seem deeply personal, driven by a desire to thwart Paul's ascent in boxing. His determination to disrupt Paul's future plans reflects a level of animosity rarely seen in professional sports. The clash between Paul and Perry on July 20th promises intense drama and high stakes. Beyond pride and reputation, financial rewards and career trajectories are on the line. For Paul, the fight represents a chance at redemption following the scrutiny from his recent sparring video. The outcome will dictate his next steps in the ring and could either propel him towards boxing legitimacy or set him back significantly. The looming specter of Mike Tyson adds further pressure to the equation. If Paul underestimates Perry and suffers a defeat, it could derail his ambitions and tarnish his credibility in the fight world. The scrutiny from pundits like Joe Rogan underscores the importance of Paul's training regimen and preparation leading up to the bout. As the countdown to July 20th continues, all eyes are on Paul and Perry. Their clash promises to settle scores and determine the trajectory of their respective careers in a sport where one fight can change everything. For Jake Paul, the advice from critics like Rogan to take training seriously could not be more pertinent as he faces one of the toughest challenges of his boxing.
You think you can knock him out?
Can I ask you a question?
I think there's a very, very high chance of that. You know,
think you can knock out Mike Tyson?
He's not the same. He's not the same fighter that he once was, and he knows that.
Stop it, bro.
Alex, you think you can beat up every white guy? What are you talking about?
I think it's a great fight. I think it is a great fight for that exact reason. Me boxing on the outside, him trying to come forward to knock me out. I have one punch power. He has one punch power. Who wins?
When everyone's urging Jake Paul to take Mike Tyson seriously, it's for good reason. At 57, Tyson is preparing with the intensity of a champion. Renowned as one of boxing's greatest, Tyson approaches every fight with a relentless dedication, pouring his blood, sweat, and tears into training. His mindset ensures he gives his all, whether facing a seasoned opponent or a relative newcomer like Jake Paul. Tyson's focused preparation underscores his commitment to the sport and serves as a clear warning to Paul that underestimating him would be a grave mistake.
Day 2, we're getting ready for you. 1, 2, 3, 4. What?
Mike Tyson's rigorous training regimen stands in stark contrast to Jake Paul's recent sparring setback, serving as a stark wake-up call for the YouTube-turned boxer. The boxing community is abuzz with commentary, with many professionals echoing concerns raised by Joe Rogan about Paul possibly biting off more than he can chew. While a few commend Paul for challenging himself against formidable opponents, skepticism remains prevalent. Critics question Paul's readiness and whether his ambition matches his abilities in the ring. As opinions divide the fight world, the spotlight intensifies on Paul's next moves. Will he rise to the challenge against opponents like Mike Perry and Mike Tyson, or will doubts about his capabilities persist? The unfolding narrative underscores the unforgiving nature of boxing and the scrutiny faced by those striving to prove themselves in one of the world's toughest sports.